what would be allocation as far as the global markets are concerned? I wanted your views on two things. One is how do investors allocate their portfolio as compared to, of course, a lot of our clients have domestic assets, including in domestic equities and domestic bonds and portfolios across their assets. And some of the assets, if they have to deploy into international markets, A, what are the markets they can look at? B, how they can really, build an asset allocation framework around that.
And increasingly, I would say HNI and even affluent customers, Mohit, we see increasingly wanting to diversify away from, sort of Indian assets only. And it makes sense because, India is probably 3.5%, 4% of global GDP. And so you'd want to have some level of foreign assets and also acts as a good hedge against the rupee, right? It tends to predominantly be US, driven. Also probably because a lot of people, have either family in the US or, are preparing the kids to study in the US, etc., or have maybe property and or some business over there as well. So what I would typically differentiate is between those who have potential future needs in USD versus those that are not looking for that and just purely from a diversification play. Diversification, typically we say normally around 10 to 20% is sufficient from a diversification perspective typically. But of course, if you have needs the way you would like to create a corpus, right, and that corpus is for a specific need, those of course you have to deal with a little bit separately, and those would be over and above the 10 to 20% that I talked about.